Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Crypto 101 session hosted by Miss Universe Philippines and Coins.ph. So our session for today is titled NFT for Newbies. So what exactly are NFTs? How do you get started? And are you too late? So I'm sure some of these questions these are the common questions that people have about NFTs. So hopefully this session will shed some light on these topics. So my name is Franco. I'm the crypto community manager of Coins.ph, and very excited to be here today with 6 of our Miss Universe Philippines candidates. So we have Miss Albay, Miss Bohol, Miss Taguig, Miss Davao del Sur, Miss Cebu Province, and of course, Miss Makati as well. So along with our candidates, we are also joined by Eprom Galang. He's our Philippine Managing Director of Coins.ph. And we also have 2 very important women in crypto and NFTs, who I'm sure they'll really enrich our conversation here today, especially given their expertise in their own NFT projects. So with that, I would like to introduce firstly Carla Lizardo. She is an NFT collector, Biri Presidente NFT founder, and also a community manager for Flight of the Valkyries, another NFT project.
Hi, Franco.
Hello.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No worries. And we also have Laladraws, who is also an NFT collector, children's book illustrator, and also co-founder of Planktoons, another popular Filipino NFT collection.
Hello po, hello everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us as well. I'm very happy to have everyone on the call. So thank you, Eprom, Carla, Lala, and also the rest of the candidates for joining our session here today. I'm very excited to talk NFTs as usual. And I've been in the space for a while, but also excited to learn a lot from all the conversations we'll be having here today. So thank you very much. Okay. So I think first on our agenda is before we begin, I think I'd like to just ask the Miss Universe Philippines candidates about what they already know about NFTs and also what they expect to also learn during the session. So any volunteers?
I can go first. Yeah, so I'm actually very invested in the NFT space. I've been, down dozens, if not hundreds of rabbit holes, just trying to study the whole technology and really expanding my knowledge regarding blockchain and NFTs in particular. I'm really excited about its potential because we've only really explored the tip of the iceberg in terms of this industry. The potential is definitely limitless, and I'm so excited that, we're starting to advocate for it. We're starting to get, everybody's interest going, because I really feel like the more people that realize how much potential this has, then more people are going to be involved. So I'm really just happy to be here. I'm so excited from this is to kind of get my MUPH sisters here involved in the NFT space also. I'm so excited for them to learn more about this industry.
And the thing about NFTs is crypto is new, but NFTs are even newer. So we're really being pioneers in this space.
I know. The earlier we are, the more we can, benefit from it. Both our wallets and the utility also.
Hopefully everyone can join in on the NFT rabbit hole as well.
Yeah.
I'll
go next.
Sure.
Okay, I'll go next. Francisco, I totally agree with Michelle. So as for me naman, as I have a finance background way back, as I've graduated in a finance field and I've worked, and I knew the transition from stock market into crypto and now the new thing, NFT. And I think Filipino people really need to dive in and adapt, since if not, we will left behind by the globe is really already transitioning and diving into NFT, and we shouldn't miss this opportunity since now it's fairly new, and we should take advantage of this, since like what Michelle mentioned, the more people we get into NFT, the more demand it and the more value it would give us. So I definitely will push with NFT, and I hope a lot of Miss Universe Philippines candidates would also dive into it and influence others as well.
Yep. And that's why I appreciate all of you here today. We're really happy to have you. And I think this is a good first step in promoting NFT in the Philippines. And, this is really an opportunity for us to be a leader in this space. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us here today. Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, I'd like to share.
Sure.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
really so I background as well. So I started, I guess my first foray into NFTs was through knowing about crypto. So I was doing my master's in economics and finance in China at the time. And one of the people in my program was working with a cryptocurrency, Chinese cryptocurrency, and offered a bunch of us an opportunity to do legal research for the crypto. So that's how I entered into knowing about Web3 and crypto and NFTs. But I'm still fairly new as well. I think I'm really excited about this conversation because it's focused on having women speak about finance, speak about technology. And I think one of the tenets of women empowerment is really ensuring that women have access to resources. Women have financial liquidity. Women are empowered in their finances and in knowledge. And so I'm just really excited that we get to empower other women as well to understand more about this technology, understand more about creating a different investment portfolio, and also in investing in. So thank you so much for having us.
Yep, that's great. And we have two key women in the NFT space with us here today. So we'll be able to really learn a lot from them and their experiences. So yeah, thank you so much for chiming in, letting us know what you already know about NFTs. But I think we can already get started on the panel discussion we have today. So basically, I think the way we can start this off is, I've been also involved with NFTs. As late last year, I delved deep into the rabbit hole. But like everyone else has mentioned, there's so much going on. There's so many new things to learn, and a lot of developments happening at a very rapid pace. So I would just like to ask Eprom, can you enlighten us on basically what NFTs are and how exactly they work?
Okay. Yeah, I think we can try to make it more simple in a sense by breaking it down on what it means. So it means non-fungible tokens. So I guess we can start with fungibility. Fungibility means something that is very interchangeable. So you think about cash, right? So if I give you 1,000 pesos and you give me a different 1,000 peso bill, like we didn't lose any value. Those two things are very interchangeable. I guess that's the same with a gold bar if you exchange gold bars that are the same weight. But there are assets that are also non-fungible. So I think a good example would be houses, right? So even if you live in the same village, you just can't exchange those houses because those are in two different plots of land. Those have different traits in itself. So they're not really interchangeable. And these assets, to show ownership, we usually rely on deeds to show the transfers of ownership and who owns these things. So if we think about going digital, on the fungible things, we already have digital currencies, like we can exchange cryptocurrency, Ethereum and Bitcoin on a regular basis. And those things we can interchange. But now through the NFT technology and blockchain, we can also now own assets and exchange and buy and sell them. Basically, the digital assets can be in forms of images, videos, even gaming assets, right? So games are using it nowadays as well. And the blockchain's role in this is basically the deeds of the digital space. So this is where we can store and see who owns what. And whenever there's a new transaction, it also records who is the new owner now.
That was a great and quick description of NFTs. So basically, like blockchain keeps the record. It's the ownership record of the asset. Got it. Okay. So I think I want to also pull in Lala and Carla to the conversation as well. Specifically, I want to know, how did you first hear about NFTs and what exactly attracted you to the technology as well? Maybe we can start first with Carla or Lala.
Hey, I can go first. I actually started with Axie Infinity and NBA Top Shot. And then I saw some friends posting about PFP projects on Twitter. And I got really curious. So I reached out and I asked them to teach me. And I actually watched YouTube videos to learn more about the technology. How do I get into this? Because initially, the reason why I was so attracted to it was the capacity to earn, especially during the pandemic, right? Everything was kind of unstable, uncertain. So we were trying to figure out ways to earn from home. So I didn't want to miss out, like how I missed out on crypto, how I missed out on early Axie Infinity. So I really took the time and effort to study PFP projects. And it was just so interesting because when I learned about the community, I met so many people across the globe. And then that was what really drew me in. I think it makes the world a lot smaller. It allows us to connect with people from all walks of life who we may not been able to connect if we weren't in the space. Other things are transparency of the blockchain. And I think it just offers unlimited opportunities for artists, investors, business people, charities, and really everyone who would take the time to learn the tech.
Yep. And I love that aspect of it being a global community. And I think what you mentioned, it makes the world seem smaller and smaller. Like basically, instead of artists being restricted to their geographic location, everyone's online nowadays, especially with the pandemic and everything that's happened. So yeah, I think NFTs are a really good way to bring artists together.
Yes.
Yeah. Lala, any thoughts on that?
I first heard of NFTs like 2 years ago, but I paid no attention to it because I didn't understood it back then. So, ano ba yung NFT? What is minting? So I ignored it. But man, I wish I joined early on. But I joined late last year, around I think August. But I came in as a collector first. My friend, who is also an artist, told me that we can trade art in the NFT space. So I think that's interesting. Like how in Instagram, diba, you like art, tapos parang you can buy it from the artist talagang. So I got really interested. Tapos I think as an artist, it was cool that you can collect art that you like and trade it as well if you want. And also I like that how it brings back the control to the artist in a way, like before you had to like chase clients, so they would pay you, diba? But now people in the space actually see the value of art, so you can just focus on creating, and plus it pays the bill as well. It pays the bills. And yeah, like what Carla said, it's just transparency in the blockchain, then it's really awesome. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. The power of the blockchain is limitless. And I think NFTs are going to unlock a lot of new projects and businesses as well. So yeah, I guess what I want to find out now is, I think Carla, Lala, you both have your own NFT projects. So what really inspired you to create these?
When I started out in the space, I decided to invest my time in creating content. So I was doing this weekly show with a friend I also met in NFTs, and we would interview different project founders. And then one time we were talking about politics, and then we realized that we were actually supporting the same candidate. So we had the thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could support her campaign if we could use the NFT technology? So we just decided to give it a try. We are actually working on a volunteer basis. So we put up our Discord, and then bahala na, we just ask people who would be willing to do this without taking profit. It's volunteer work because we really want to help raise funds for this campaign. And that's pretty much how Biti Presidente began. It's grown way more than what we expected to, but it just shows the power of NFTs and bringing people together, people who have the same passion for a certain cause. There's really so much that NFTs can accomplish. So Biti Presidente has been a successful fundraising project so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you mentioned, and I'm glad you're using this technology for a specific cause as well. Yeah. Lala, how about your project?
I got inspired by artists will like something cute that people will like seeing every time they check their collections. Plus, being a children's book illustrator myself, my passion is telling story through my art. So my team and I, we want to offer something different in the space, something that is centered in storytelling. So when my co-founder, who I met in a random Twitter space lang, asked me asked me to launch a collection with him that is focused on storytelling, I said go agad. So I think it's nice din sa space that you can meet people na you have the same interest with, like yung co-founder ko, I just met him in the random Twitter spaces. I think it's really nice na it connects people, you know, with the same interest.
Yep, exactly. And I think that kind of loops into my next question. Like, what about NFTs really helps you reach a wider audience or community? And how has it empowered you as an artist as well?
The space is like a whole new world. I think when I started NFTs, it's like my Twitter got taken over by someone else because I fell down the rabbit hole. And then I just met so many people. There are so many Filipino collectors who are so kind, because when you're starting out, everything is intimidating, everything is confusing. So you really have to ask a million questions before you get even a bit of a grasp of what's happening in NFTs. But the Filipino collectors really have that spirit of hospitality with answering questions. So I appreciated that. I made so many new friends even during lockdown. And then I also started to connect more on Discord. So like I mentioned earlier, I met people from all across the globe. And it's great because it gives us a chance to collaborate. It gives us a chance to brainstorm and really think of new ideas. And we get to talk to even celebrities. I got to talk to one of my favorite tennis players, Stan Wawrinka, because he founded a project. And then I just went on Discord and I got to talk to him. So it feels like anything isn't out of reach. I mean, there's nothing that's out of reach within the space. And aside from that, I also make sure that I do my part with onboarding people. So I also created a short video series called NFT 101, so that if people go on my YouTube channel or if they go on my Twitter, then I kind of give back to the space as well. So just being a content creator for NFTs and NFT onboarding has also helped me reach a wider audience.
Yep, and that's the thing about NFTs. They're so new that there's no like specific school, so it's really a community-driven thing, and you rely a lot on the community in order to find things out. Lala, any thoughts there?
I agree. It's a whole new world. Before I don't use Twitter, but because of anything, sobrang nakaka-addict pala siya, no? So yeah, I made a lot of friends then, met fellow artists, and I think for me naman, it's our community through Planktoons. It wasn't just me. It was also because of my team. I think it's a collective effort that we were able to build a fun community inside the Planktoon server, and it helped me in a way as well that I have more eyes on my art now, not just Planktoon. So that's really amazing. And also, I think the NFT space helped artists in a way that we get to decide how much our hard work is worth. Like gone are the days where we had to go after clients because they didn't want to pay us, or when they try to lowball us because they think our hard work doesn't require much effort. I'm sure a lot of artists can relate. But now, since people are mostly focused on collecting and creating art, now we can focus on just creating the art we like. And yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I think that brings us to our next question here, specifically in regards to the Philippines. So here's a little fact. Global average of NFT ownership currently stands at 1.7%, but the Philippines actually stands at 32%. So that beats all other countries in Southeast Asia and even outranks countries such as the United States. So why do you think NFTs has really resonated specifically to Filipinos? What makes NFT an attractive technology to the Philippines? This question's open to anyone, by the way.
I think, Francisco, I can answer to that. Especially during the pandemic, as what Carla mentioned, that people here in the Philippines has no work at all. So they're finding ways to have income. And I think that's where the boost came from. So a lot of people went in Axie. So Axie Infinity was a thing back then. And, this helped the Filipino household. And up to now, I believe that if we continue pushing people to go dive in NFT and, for example, create another game such as Axie Infinity where they could really have income and pay the bill. And this would really help us in general, the economy, the Filipino people. And this is something that I really want to push through because this could help us in general.
Franco, I just want to correct on the stat. It's just 32% of internet users in the survey. I just don't want the audience to think that 32% of the population already has NFTs right now.
Okay,
But
thanks
it's
for the
actually, yeah, but it's still actually a big number, right? But just to add to that, I think in the Filipinos, like we have a lot of different types of investors who actually collect, toys and sneakers, and they're actually able to make money out of it. Think of that in a digital sense, collecting those. And by not only owning those projects, but you actually get to have a stake in a new Web3 brand, right? It's, these brands are now diving into the metaverse, and these collections allow you to have a stake in their projects as well.
I also want to add that I think that Filipinos are incredibly creative. We have a very creative and forward-thinking spirit. So for me, it's no surprise that a lot of Filipinos are interested in NFTs and interested in this space. And we also have a very young population. And I think a lot of people, a lot of the youth especially, are interested in getting involved, whether it's as a creator or a collector. And so for me, I think that whatever narratives we have about ourselves, I think that we should remember that the spirit of the Filipino is actually one that is creative, one that's forward-thinking, and one that is worthy of being on the global stage. So I think that that's why a lot of Filipinos have been getting involved in NFTs and into the space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think another
I've seen.
interesting thing is, another interesting thing is that, oh, go ahead, Pauline. We're in the same room. Okay, should I go? Yeah, so I think our really.
Yes, so I think to add to what Julia said, aside from Filipinos being creative, I think a lot of Filipinos, and this is also speaking from experience, are curious. I myself only got to hear about NFTs and about crypto late last year, and I've done some reading about it, and I have to admit it's very overwhelming. But it's nice to have discussions like this. Even earlier with Michelle, she was sharing her take and sharing a lot of information about crypto and about NFTs, asking her all these questions, and she really helped me understand it better. So I have a lot of questions reserved for later, but I'll keep them reserved for later.
I think one of the best things about this whole NFT space is that it creates so much opportunities, and it really gives the power back to the creators, because we all know that we're from a third world country, but here we are breaking the ranks and really, holding the top spot in terms of NFT holders. And I think that's because, gone are the times where we're just the creators. Now we have access and control over the royalties and how much we can gain out of that. And unlike before, we can actually track the profits, we can actually see who holds it. And it's just, like I said earlier, the possibilities are just endless. And I always say, how often can you be part of an emerging industry as big as the internet, if not the next or the bigger technology next to the internet? So it's just a great way of, having an additional profit. And, I can nerd about NFTs for so long because, we're talking about NFT art right now, but when you really dive deep into the technology, it's mind-boggling. It's just so amazing. That's why I'm so happy that we're kind of talking about it and really having this discussion. Did I cut off?
I think we just have time for one more question for now. So I just want to redirect it back to our experts here. So Eprom, Lala, and Carla. Where do you think NFTs will be in the next 10 years, if you were to predict?
Okay, yeah, I can go first. I think I can see a lot of the real life brands diving deeper into NFTs more. I think we've seen that with Nike, who started late last year. That's what actually got me so deep into this. When I saw Nike bought Artifact Studios, I immediately bought a Clone X because I knew it was going to be big. I could see a lot of those, right? Because as communicative beings, right, we want to express to the world like things we own, like what our personalities are. So we can't just express it through our clothes, but now that we're always online, why not have brands on your profile pictures so people can talk about those as well?
Wow, 10 years. I think like what everyone is saying, we're still early. And right now in the scene, it's like the dot-com boom in the 90s where there was a massive adoption of the internet. I think NFT is gonna be huge, like especially in gaming aspect. I mean, people are spending hundreds of dollars for game skins. So actually owning that token to your virtual stuff is really cool. I'm not sure if you guys have watched Ready Player One. I think in terms of ownership, it kind of right. It kind of shows us what the future is like for NFTs in gaming. And aside from that, I think a lot of huge brands are gonna adapt NFTs. Like maybe in a concert, instead of purchasing a ticket, you can have an NFT, something like that. So it's really exciting. And for the art, yeah, I wish more artists will on board because I think it's our time.
Yeah, it is.
Most definitely. And it's about time that the artists really get the recognition that they deserve. And well, just to agree with both of you, that's also my prediction. With how fast the NFT space is growing and moving, we're definitely going to be seeing mass adoption sooner than later. We're already seeing the bigger brands coming in, just like Eprom said earlier. And I think that NFTs will really be tied up in our existence one way or the other. Like right now, we're already seeing, for example, digital clothing, because fast fashion is a problem for the environment. But right now, NFTs are kind of trying to solve that already by having digital clothing that you can buy. And then you'll just send them a photo of you in like a basic, maybe black swimsuit, and they'll just edit on the NFT. And then you can post that on your Instagram, go ahead and flex your brand. And then when you're done with it, you can go ahead and sell it and just get your money back. So there are so many interesting use cases that seem mind-boggling right now. And again, we are very, very early. There are so many ways that we can adopt this technology, and I'm just super excited about it. I think NFTs will be the norm in 10 years.
Yeah,
I'd like to. Sorry. Prediction.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say in terms of like real brands, like I don't own any like Gucci items, but I own a Gucci NFT. So.
I mean, it probably has more utility.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just the fact that, the biggest corporations around the world are adopting to NFTs, it really sets a precedent to every single brand out there, because it doesn't just, it's not just confined within, physical stores anymore. Like you can tap every corner of the world and really give everyone access to this technology, as long as we kind of broaden our minds and change the perception, especially the negative perception that's going around in terms of the blockchain space. And I think that's why discussions like this are so important, because we need more people to be more informed about the potential of this industry.
I wanted to share really quickly about my predictions, since I think it's relevant to us all. I think that in the future, NFTs won't just solve questions about ownership in terms of art and those kinds of digital assets, but I think they'll also solve questions about ownership on your own image. I was reading this book by Amrata, and she spoke about how this artist had painted this $1 million painting of her, but she had none of it. She didn't get any of the fees that the artist had received from that painting. And I kind of liken it to our own image, which is shared on so many different digital platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. But how much of that do we actually own? Do we actually own our image that's online, whether that be on Instagram or whether that be on any other digital platform. So I think that NFTs has the potential to also give back the ownership to the people. And it can also solve questions of ownership on your own image. And so how can you actually monetize your image, your brand, and actually be in charge of that financial gain? So I think that that's something that we'll see in the future as well, and something that I'm looking forward to. I'm sure all the ladies on this platform are looking forward to, as all of us are sharing our image, whether that be on social media or on the internet.
That's really the beauty of blockchain, isn't it? Because once it's on the smart contract, you really can't take that away, and you can't change it. There's no fraudulent activity. So if you're the creator, if you're the image, if it's on the smart contract, then you can never take that right away from you.
Yep, that's really the beauty behind blockchain. Okay, I think we can end it there for our panel discussion, but I actually want to bring it back to the Miss Universe Philippines candidates. Feel free to ask our experts any of your own questions related to NFTs as well. So please, all of you have the floor.
Actually, do you have a question?
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Who was that? Was it me? Or...
That was me. But it's okay. Go, pal. Go,
I'm
pal.
sorry.
Go, pal. Girl, you go. We're sharing exact same internet, so go.
I can hear my laugh in the background. Okay, anyways. Anyway, I have a question. I have created children's coloring books since 2019. And I was wondering how I would start to create my own like NFT collection.
Hi, so was that for me? Medyo nag-break.
Yes, Laladraws.
Yeah, actually, meron ng mga NFTs na books, like there are collections na NFT but book siya, so maybe you can create a few pages of coloring pages na yung ginawa mo, and then you can mint it in the blockchain as a collection, and then yeah, I think it's really nice. I think wala pa akong nakikitang ganyan, so I think magiging parang what they call unique siya, kasi I don't think may nakita na akong ganyan in coloring pages, especially ngayon sa NFT. So I think that's exciting. I think you should do it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Pao, my company actually makes NFTs for different brands. Maybe I can help you there.
Okay, I will message you and talk to you later about that.
Now, you guys make the NFT collection. Can you all treat us from all
From all the royalty fees. The royalty fees.
I got you. I see money.
You have to make sure it sells out first, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I have another question though. As you said earlier during the discussion regarding like domains and NFTs, like why is it so important to have different domains? Why not we can establish our art or any form of digital asset in just one single platform and one single domain? Why there has to be several domains for pertaining to the art or asset that we need to establish on?
I think the domain part, it doesn't need to be tied up to the NFT itself. It's just another NFT that's being sold. Just like we have domains in the internet right now that just points to something. Now we have domains in the blockchain that points to an address, or a lot of people use it as basically their Web3 username that they can use across platforms as well.
So it's just similar to creating a website wherein when you type in www.jadidacorinihana.com, it's different to www.jadicorinihana.com.
Exactly. So it's not a .com. Now there's the
.au or something.
There's
.edu or something. So that particular, it's more like a DNA tied on a blockchain of your own digital asset.
And that kind of it simplifies your life, because to be able to buy an NFT, you need to have a digital wallet, and that comes with this long address, complicated code that just makes you nervous, because every time you transact, if you sell an NFT, you buy an NFT, you have to copy paste this code. And then personally, I'm super paranoid with my transactions. So I have to keep double checking. But if you have your own domain, then you can just send, oh, my domain is carlycat.eth, and it's already tied up to that long code. So it just simplifies your life also.
Nice.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. Actually,
I've made like 6-digit mistakes already just because of those USDT and network addresses.
oh my god.
So like if
6
you have
digits?
domains that just make your life so much easier by just 6-digit mistakes, expensive lessons. Like having that domain just makes my life so much easier because it automatically sends.
I,
Okay, I
Hello.
think I want to ask a question now. Because I think on the contrary to all of the girls here, I'm the newbie to NFT, to cryptocurrency. Honestly,
Girls
this is the very
thing.
first time that right, Jetty, you guys know about this. I've been asking you earlier. um, yes, I've never heard of it, but now that like talking to you guys, having this discussion, it's really very engaging, and it's getting me very excited. And I think I represent those the other first population that's never been introduced to cryptocurrency or NFTs. The only thing I know about NFTs is it's a digital asset that can be purchased and traded. And now that I've been invited to this, and I really have Miss Universe Philippines to thank, and of course Coins.ph and the girls for explaining so much how it works and why are people so invested in it. So I think my question is, as a total newbie, how do I start? Like the only step that I've taken honestly is just I've installed the application, and it was very easy and very it was a smooth transaction. But how do I start? Do I like get myself an NFT, or do I give it to someone else? How do I begin?
can I go? Yeah. So as a collector, if you want to collect, you can find projects that you like. If you're more into art or utilities are like sprinkle on top of the art. So maybe say if you want to like you like PT Presidente, so see if it fits your budget, learn about the fees and commissions before you flip or sell or hold. And if you want to create a collection, you have to naman find great people to be a part of your team, because it really depends on the collective effort of each of you for a project to be successful if you're looking to create a project. But I think so NFT scene, everyone is so friendly. Like you can ask questions, join communities, discords. People are naturally friendly in the NFT scene, so don't be shy. At first, I'm overwhelmed, but it's really fun.
Yes, the word overwhelm is really the key word there. And I really appreciate the way Miss Carla, and of course with you, Miss Lala, the way that you shared about the campaign that you did for a presidential candidate. Because I also have like a similar situation with my advocacy, which is on mental health, and I actually have my own campaign for it. It is a Rise Up. It's called Rise Up. It's a mental health awareness where I've traveled around universities in Cebu, and there I have a beneficiary. So I was just really wanting to clarify that you can use NFT as a fundraiser platform.
Yes, that's actually what we did for our project. So we sold 2022 NFTs, and all the funds that we got from those sales, we donated. And then another way that we earned from the project was that we used the art that we used for the NFTs, we put it on merch. So we also had that IRL application, and the merch would be sold out in 10 minutes. It was really overwhelming. But also, that was another way to contribute as well. So I know that a lot of people might still be overwhelmed about NFTs. So we also wanted to make it more accessible for people who also might want to help out. So those are just some of the different ways that NFT projects can really help with fundraising campaigns. And by the way, there are so many mental health projects. out there right now. So maybe if you are looking to buy your first NFT, then you can check those out.
Then I would definitely start on it already, Miss Carla. Now I'm very much more excited to just begin with it, especially you mentioning about the mental health campaigns. So thank you so much, everyone. And I love how the girls are so passionate about it. And I'm gonna bombard you later with questions.
Feel free to do
We
that.
have time for I think we have time for one more question. So
I think
Yes. Oh, sure.
okay.
Go ahead, Kat. I
This
already
is just
asked
a
the question. Like, napost na.
Yeah, I think this is a very quick question. Of course, this is in connection with what Carla and Lou mentioned, that what if a newbie wants to buy an NFT? There's a tons of project online. Like there's Alpha Girl, there's Board Ape Yacht Club, and there's two kinds of investor: the ones a collector and also the ones who would flip the NFTs. So I would like to ask, like, what's the key points that we should look for in an NFT before purchasing it?
For me,
Doxy
the
founders.
the things that I look for as a collector, I check if the team is doxed, which means that they've revealed their identities. I find a sense of comfort knowing their IRL identities because I feel like that leads to more accountability, right? And then I also look at utility, but I also look at the background of the team because sometimes they could promise this really, really intense roadmap, so many exciting projects. But then if they don't have the background to be able to carry through those projects, then, that probably won't go anywhere either. And then I also check the art. If I like the art, then I am more prone to investing in that project. And I also make sure to check out the community because sometimes the communities are huge, but then you can tell that they're just there to flip. You kind of get the vibe and you'll get that sense when you really start investing more. Because sometimes other projects will hype up their project by buying followers. So you have to really immerse yourself in the community first to see if you fit in and if it seems authentic. So for me, those are the things I look for in projects.
Thanks for that, Carla. I know that a lot of girls here would take note what to look for in their first NFT purchase.
I was listening very intensively on how to check if it's authentic.
Actually, like my one of my NFT advisors gave me like a pro tip that there are 4 things that you should look for when you're buying an NFT. So the first thing is the team, next is the utility, and then third, I believe, is the oh my gosh, I forgot the third, but last is art. So therefore, like the art really comes. I mean, of course, unless it's made by Picasso or something, the utility is what really makes it valuable, and the founders and all of that.
Yeah, I would just want to add to that. There are collectors who really just buy for the art, and I don't think utility is always going to be there, because again, there are people just want to sell art, and there are collectors. Art itself is still a utility. If you really, really like the project, no one's going to stop you from buying it too.
Exactly.
Actually, same din for me. As an artist, I'm more invested in the art. Parang plus na lang for me yung utility because I think if nag-effort sila ng sobra sa art, I think makikita mo yung dedication ng team sa project. And yeah, I also look for kung okay din yung community, katulad ng sinabi ni Carla, if yung vibe inside their server, kung more on flip or hold sila, and also the team, I check the team kung parang you will feel naman if they're in for the long term, or parang you have to be careful din kasi baka maraming scams and mga cash grabs na project, so you have to watch out then for if so the roadmap then the utilities, the community, so marami siya pero yeah, if you're a beginner, you have to be careful din kasi it's a scary world out there din, pero yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I really wish we could keep talking NFTs. I am learning a lot here, but I think that's all the time we have for today. So thank you so much, Eprom, Carla, Lala, of course, all of our Miss Universe Philippine candidates for the discussion here today. I think a lot of people are gonna benefit from watching this and learning more about their NFTs, and maybe this will be their first entry. This video will be really their first entry into the NFT world. So yeah, don't worry though. Please stay tuned for more Crypto 101 sessions with Coins.ph and Miss Universe Philippines coming soon. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hope
Thank
to
you. Thank
see
you
you
for
guys
having us.
soon.
Feel free to message me anytime. Message me
Thanks,
all your questions.
everyone.
I'll help.
Me too.
Thank
me
you so
too.
much, Carla and Lala.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.